Hey you guys, I'm sitting at the knuckle boom on the land that I rented. We're sitting on the land that I rented at the knuckle boom. Let's start that over. Morning you guys, I'm sitting at my knuckle boom on the land that I rented, and I'm going to be going down here in the woods and I'm showing you how I mark out a property line, and maybe we'll skid a little bit of firewood with the quad here. I'm kind of in limbo on what I'm going to do today because I can't quite tell if it's going to start pouring or if it's not, so I don't want to get too involved in any other projects and get rained out and be irritated. And this I can do 10 minutes of this or 2 hours of it, and either way it'd be good. I'd be happy with that. So all right, if you're ready, which I presume you are, we'll go take this old junky quad and take a look. So I've got a property line in here. This is not what I own, and that is what I own. And this goes about another 1,000 feet to the back, and I know where my line is at the back. I know where my pin is, but these are long, skinny properties, real narrow, like a racetrack. You know, like a quarter-mile drag strip. They're 200 foot wide and a quarter-mile long. So in the middle, we all kind of lose our bearings as to who owns what. And the way that I deal with it is I go and I find my pin at the back and I find my connecting point at the front, and I just stretch a contractor string, a bright pink string, you know. I stretch it from one spot to the other. You know, I'm gonna clear a fence row with the dozer to put in a fence for goats. But for me to get the fence straight, I gotta have a straight line, and the only way I can get it is to stretch a string between these 2 points, because there's no way you can eyeball it straight. And I don't want to take out trees that aren't mine, even though I've got permission to. So, but what I'm gonna be doing is taking climbing sticks. I'm gonna climb up into the highest tree that I can find that's right on the line, and put a bunch of flagging tape so that when I'm down at the other end, because the ground has got all these rolls to it, so in most locations you cannot see by line of sight unless you got a high up marker to kind of aim in at. And I've got it roughed in by eyeball, but I'm sure that I'm off and I want it straight. I don't want a curvy fence. I want a straight fence so it looks like I knew what I was doing. So let me get these homemade climbing sticks, just made out of conduit and arborist rope, and I'll get them rigged up and get up the tree and put some tape up. Okay, so I'm up in the canopy here. Not that it's a tall canopy. I mean, these are all stunty, short, ratty trees. But this is the parcel next door to me. You can see it's a trash dump for all the neighborhood dope heads, and so a lot of the reason why I had to get some kind of control so I could run people out of there. It could be a nice place someday, maybe, if it was cleaned up, but as long as they stay out of my place, I'll deal with it. Right there. That's the one. That's where my fence goes, right there. So that's what I need to see from 100, 200 yards. All right, so we're out here. My house is up that way. I'd say my fence line is right in through here, but that's what we're trying to figure out. I know my pin, my back corner is right there. So this tree is about as good as I can do. I'm gonna go as far up this one as I can, flag that up so that when I'm halfway, I'm gonna take the dozer. I'm gonna come in here. Well, first I'll pull out firewood with the tractor, but once once it gets thinned out, I'll come in with the root rake and push a fence row opened up in here. Now this is the part that I'm renting, and I've got permission to, this is all what's left of the generational high grading. This is all of the non-choice ratty rotten tomatoes. That's what it is. It's rotten tomatoes. So we're gonna cull all of it and let the stumps rot, let the bush grow in, put the goats on it rotationally so that they keep harvesting the regen. And in time, the stumps rot enough, I'll pop them with the root rake. And this is a higher class of soil right here, this high ground, because it hasn't all washed down into the bottoms. There's more organic matter. It's about 3% organic matter up here, and also this strip of my property right here. So I'm basically trying to rent as much of the good soil as I can for, you know, growing, whether it be gardens or crops or paddocks. Growing something. You know, if you got good soil, put some sun on it. Why grow rotten tomatoes when you can grow good, nice, fresh ones? I like good tomatoes myself. So let me get up this tree. All right, well, I got up there and did what I had to do. I took a tape measure just out of curiosity. I was 20 feet up, and I lost track of my thoughts because my freaking dang dog is up here barking at the geese on the pond right now, and it's driving me crazy. I mean, I've trained my dogs not to bark unless there's something I need to come investigate, and they're pretty good about that. So she was barking, and it was a definite, it wasn't, you know, play. It was a tone of, come see, get over here quick. So I go shooting up there, and I'm looking all over. 10 minutes she's barking, and I can't see nothing. I finally see a stupid goose on the pond, and she's still going off on it. So I don't need to know about all the geese. If she keeps it up, I mean, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing because I'm so irritated with her. If she keeps it up, she's gonna get the shock collar, and we'll fix that. And she won't bark at no more geese. I don't want her barking at dope heads, mailmen, and snakes, and threats to my goats. So anyhow, there's the tree, and up we go. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it in this dark screen, but there's the flagging tape. Another way you can do it if you don't want to go up the tree is you can anchor a balloon. The downside is by the time you've got enough slack for the balloon to be high enough to see, it can also wander off pretty far from your line. And these are, I want 5 foot accuracy. I don't want to be 30 feet off. If you got 5,000 acres, a balloon is just fine. You could fly a balloon and run a drone if you need to, but that ain't gonna work on such a small parcel like this. As you can see, this is pretty ratty stuff. I need to start thinning. The buds are coming up, and the weather's warm for the bugs and the ticks, and like I said, everything is budding, and pretty soon it'll leaf out. Once it leaves out, you can't see nothing. You can only see about 100 yards tops, and I need to be able to see through here for landmarks enough to line of sight and direct the dozer and mark trees to remove so that I can get a clear visual at the point that I'm, you know, aiming to for A to B, because I'm trying to run straight fences. Well, I'm in the middle now. After I did the back end, and well, actually no, I take it back. This tree had original blaze on it from the, as far as we know, from the original subdivision, the original survey, and straight through there, which I would have had a real tough time pinpointing that. Actually, I can see my flag lines are off about 20 feet, 30 feet to the neighbor's advantage. So this works pretty good. Right there. Right there, you can see that little tail hanging down. Right in through that brush there. So I'm picking up my line pretty good. Damn dog will not shut up. You can see one right there, one right there. You probably can't see it, but one way up in there works pretty good.